lights out. They are coming off a game where they set a school record with 19 made three-pointers.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Ole Miss defends. They're switching on ball screens out of their man-to-man right now.
Ole Miss with a veteran in the starting lineup as Mimi Reed, number 2 in that Navy jersey, gets the start. They go inside to Austin. And Shakira Austin will go to the free throw line. She's also got a freshman that she's bringing along in Madison Scott, the SEC Freshman of the Year. I mean, Ole Miss has a ton of talent.
Well, and don't leave out Snetta Collins. That she made the all-freshman team as well. How long has it been since Ole Miss had 3 award winners for the SEC season?
It's been impressive what this Ole Miss team has been able to do, and I don't think there's a coach in the SEC that wanted to face them coming into the SEC tournament.
Well, you understand this, in the time of COVID, the stops and starts, they had an ice storm in Mississippi that interrupted their season as well, that really stopped the continuity of them building what they were capable of, because this is a star-loaded, talented team.
Mimi Reed got the steal, but Taylor Thomas had the final word, the block down low by number 24.
Mississippi bringing the full court pressure to try to take some time and make Arkansas get late into the shot clock.
Arkansas loves to get a shot off within the first 9 seconds of that shot clock.
Understand that when these first 2 teams met, it was after Ole Miss and the Mississippi State game had been canceled or postponed because of that ice storm, and it was in a tough stretch. And this was a game that was decided by 10 points with Arkansas being the winner.
Dungey rips it away. Amber Ramirez, first shot won't go, but she had 8 three-pointers in that win over Alabama on Sunday.
Alabama kept losing Amber Ramirez. She would come off screens, there would be a miscommunication defensively, and she would make them pay.
Snetta Collins in the corner. Dungey on the trail. And it's cold shooting for Arkansas to start the game.
Maybe Alabama and Missouri used up all the buckets.
Destiny Slocum, the transfer from Oregon State, number 12 in white.
Ooh, this is a tough start for both teams. And both of these teams like to create shots for themselves. And they've got capable playmakers. Both teams do.
Mimi Reed will pull it out and set up the play for Ole Miss. Danetta Johnson for 3.
Now keep an eye on Danetta Johnson. She is phenomenal to watch because throughout the game, some shots she'll shoot with her left hand, other shots she'll shoot with her right hand. She's ambidextrous and can't decide which hand she wants to use.
Well, she had success in their last game, that win over Kentucky, as a 3-ball goes in for Arkansas. But Danetta Johnson had 14 points against Kentucky. Coach Yo told her to pick a hand.
Look, and she likened it to where when you go to a restaurant and if somebody decides this is where you're going, ain't no problem, you're going. But when they give you options, it takes you a while to decide what you're hungry for.
Dungey banks it in.
But that's not an ideal shot for Chelsea Dungey. She likes the 3, or she likes to get all the way to the rack. That mid-range game, she's good at it, but that's not one of her favorites.
Yeah, she lit it up the last time these two teams played. Dungey had a season-high 38 points. Collins misses in the corner. Michaela Daniels all the way. 2 for 8 from the field for Arkansas to start.
Well, they're not getting the transition baskets that they like to get out and run. You take a bad shot, you turn the ball over. Then Arkansas's got a system they run in transition.
6 seconds. Mimi Reed sees an opening. It's a layup. Big picture-wise, Arkansas is projected as a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, according to Charlie Cream. Ole Miss not in the field just yet. They're in the next 4 out. But with a win or a couple of wins, they could move to that first 4 out. They still have a lot of work to do.
It's been a long time since Ole Miss was even in the discussion of consideration to be in the NCAA tournament.
Shakira Austin is one of the reasons why they are in that discussion. What a block.
Just the length, the reach that she has. Drea Carter talked about guarding Chelsea Dungee with some length. That's what you get with Shakira Austin.
She is the only active player in the SEC with 1,000 points, 700 rebounds, and 150 blocks.
And I'm going to tell you, she's a different player than she was the one at Maryland. It was mainly stuck in the paint, and she has really shown there's more to her game. She's nice off the dribble. She's got a face-up game as well, runs the floor. She's the complete package.
Slocum got tripped up and turned the ball over. Valerie Nesbitt pushing.
That one was with the left hand, and she missed. Will she switch up and go to the right?
Chelsea Dungee. Ole Miss did a good job of not fouling her. Ramirez from the elbow. And the shots not falling for Arkansas. Well, for either team, they're both shooting in the 20s.
Well, and Arkansas's not getting time on their shots. I mean, there's contested, at least a defensive look right there, not their normal penetrate in when the help comes over. That's where the open shots arrive.
Shakira Austin off the window. She's got 4. Last 6 games for Austin, averaging just over 20 points per game. She averages 17 on the season. And Chelsea Dungee does get fouled. Well, when you commit to Arkansas, you got to learn a new language. We'll have a little language lesson with Coach Neighbors when you come back.
Arkansas has some unusual position names because Mike Neighbors wants his players to have a specific concept of what he expects from them. Let's kick it off with the Rabbits. This is your rim runner. If this position does not sprint the floor, none of these positions work at all. One of the most important positions in this system. And next up, the locks. Me and Carolyn Peck. These are your shooters. You got to race to space. It opens up the floor. You're looking at an Amber Ramirez burying a 3 in a corner. And then the Raptor. These are your point guards. Their job is to get up the floor as quick as possible. Get to the rack. Get an and one. Be fast. And the Dragons, the best. You save them for last. Usually it's your 5 player, a late trail, but they have the ability to shoot the 3 or drive downhill. Chelsea Dungee is the Dragon for Mike Neighbors in this system.
Hey, Steffi, I'm no lock. I'm more the Dragon. I learned to run from top of the key to top of the key, and that's it.
Well, Dragon's a pretty cool name, and we know after talking to Mike Neighbors that these names came from when he was at Washington with Kelsey Plum and Chantel Osaher, who's on his staff. She was a Dragon, and the players came up with some of these names.
Think about when you're in the home of a recruit. You're not talking about being a 1, 2, 3, or 4, but being a rabbit, a racker, a lock, or a dragon. That's going to catch their attention.
Well, it makes you ask. It makes that recruit ask, what does that mean? And then all concepts of, you're a point guard. This is what I expect. From the past, those go out the window, and you learn exactly what Mike Neighbors, what he wants from that position, and he's had a lot of success at Arkansas doing it.
He's got his own vernacular. I mean, when he talks about getting the ball in the paint, that's more of the jungle. A lot of teams talk about packages of certain types of plays, whether it be horn sets or ball screens. Those are called families. Those are in families. So at Arkansas, they're speaking their own language.
If you walk into an Arkansas practice, you may have no idea what they're talking about.
You may have to order a Babbel.
Well, right now, Mike Neighbors and his Arkansas Razorbacks, who are 6th in the nation in points per game, are in a scoring drought.
Well, I tell you, Ole Miss has learned their language so far defensively of holding Arkansas to only 5 points so far in this first quarter.
Arkansas averages 84 points per game. Valerie Nesbitt's shot is off, but she fights for the rebound and gets to do it again, and is going to the free throw line. Jalen Mason whistled for the foul.
Concern for Arkansas has to be, I looked at their wins versus losses, and rebounding has been the biggest issue. Mike Neighbors talks about you got to create possessions. Well, how do you do that? You got to rebound the basketball. And when other teams take those away, or teams get more possessions because they're hitting the offensive glass, that's trouble for Arkansas.
Two free throws dropped for Valerie Nesbitt. 3 minutes and 30 seconds almost for Arkansas without a bucket.
Well, here's the thing, too. Arkansas hasn't been to the free throw line.
Elania Kitchens called for her first foul, and that sends Erin Barnum to the free throw line for the Razorbacks. Arkansas, the second best free throw shooting team percentage-wise in the SEC.
Well, they make a living at getting to the free throw line as well, and a lot of that has to do with when they're running, because a lot of times they catch teams' defense not set yet, and a lot of times when you're not set, the rotation's late, Arkansas gets to the free throw line.
Donetta Johnson checks back in for Ole Miss. Amber Ramirez is back on the floor for the Razorbacks.
And talking to Coach Yo, talked to her on Zoom yesterday, talked to her today, and she said she packed a lot of clothes. She's got high expectations for this Ole Miss basketball team in this tournament.
We'll kick it back out. Here's Donetta Johnson. Elevates, looking for the bank in.
She shot that one that time with her right hand. She's got to find which one works.
And Michaela Daniels just got herself to the free throw line. Everybody talks about Chelsea Dungy, Amber Ramirez, but Michaela Daniels does so many things for this Arkansas team. I mean, she really makes them go.
Well, and the thing that Mike Neighbors talks about with Michaela Daniels, who's only a sophomore, is she is able to make adjustments on the fly. She knows what the team needs. Mike Neighbors talks about making your scouting report wrong. He tries to look at what you've worked on and what you're trying to take away, and then find another option to go to so that his team can benefit from what you think you're stopping this. He's like, I got that for you.
Yeah, and Michaela Daniels is one of the best on the team at doing that and seeing what adjustments need to be made in game.
That's a great compliment to a sophomore in being able to be the best at making those adjustments.
Madison Scott off the mark. Both teams have missed their last 5 shots. Ramirez trying to change it, but can't. Donetta Johnson trying the crossover. It's going to be Arkansas ball.
Well, and Q Davis. This is a sophomore that has really emerged this season with length. Mike Neighbors talks about her as a pro. She's got terrific acrobat and athleticism, the ability both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
And on that play, Alanya Kitchens picked up her second foul, so she takes a seat for Ole Miss. Daniels for three. Arkansas starting 1 for 6 from behind the arc.
And again, they're not getting a lot of time with their shots because Ole Miss, oh, that's a nice take by Shakira Austin. But you watch Ole Miss defense, there's not a lot of help off penetration. Every man is staying locked to their person, so nobody is open for the perimeter shots.
Back to Austin they go. That should be a big advantage for Ole Miss because Arkansas just doesn't have the size inside.
Well, and the athleticism, the versatility you get from Shakira Austin when she's running the floor. And then this freshman right here, Madison Scott. Great Scott!
Do you mean the SEC Freshman of the Year?
That's who I'm talking about.
The first at Ole Miss since Arminty Price, who is now Arminty Harrington, one of the assistant coaches for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss with a 10-point lead. Wow.
And Daniels won't get the foul call. There was a little pause as the shot clock went off. Wow, the lowest scoring quarter of the season for Arkansas. Hey, we told you Ole Miss is a hot team.
Well, and right now they are off and running. And when I say running, you've got the attack of Shakira Austin. She's running in transition as well. Hey, and you know what? She's gotten help from the SEC Freshman of the Year, Madison Scott. Great Scott.
At this score as we get set for the second quarter, Ole Miss on top of Arkansas by 10. Shakira Austin, big reason why.
She is making her presence felt first on the offensive side, using her length defensively. And then on the offensive side, she has been a creator, very aggressive and offensive minded. What I have liked about her in this first quarter is she's not selling for jumpers, but she is in attack mode for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss has hit its last 3 shots. Arkansas struggling from the field. They have never led in this game. That was their lowest scoring first quarter of the season, just 7 points. And we've already seen what kind of a difference maker Shakira Austin has been. And that's a reason why Ole Miss is a different team than last year.
Well, Coach Yo talks about changing the culture. How do you do that? You bring in players with a winning mentality, and that's exactly what Shakira Austin has.
Yeah, assistant coach Shay Robinson was a big part in bringing Shakira Austin here, and Shakira and Shay got together over the summer and talked about how Shakira could impact every position, whether it be the weight room, diet, practice. She felt like at the time this team was almost traumatized from losing so much, and she wanted to turn it around. She feels like the team now has turned the corner and believes. A big reason why they have this lead right now and don't look phased.
And Lindsay, let me tell you, it hasn't been all unicorns and rainbows and roses. In the early part of the non-conference, they went undefeated. But then when SEC play started and some losses happened, that's when Coach Yo and Shakira Austin, they were able to build their relationship and really work through the adversity of the team. And now it's helped them to have a positive outlook.
Yeah, even look at their losses this year. They've improved in that area. They're not getting blown out. We saw so many times last season that they were just dominated. We're not seeing that as much this year, and they got those 4 SEC wins in conference play as opposed to none last season.
Well, and you look at the transfers of not only Shakira Austin, but Danetta Johnson coming in. That's a big plus. A great scorer that came in from the University of Georgia.
Slocum grabs the turnover. Arkansas still looking to get something going. Amber Ramirez just 3 points. Dungy from range. Do you like the shots that Arkansas is getting?
Well, they're not getting open shots.
Yeah.
Pay attention to Ole Miss's defense. They have emergency switches. If there's a screen, then they switch, and then there's accountability of the person that you're left with. And on penetration, they're not helping off. So when you don't help off, you're not getting open looks, and it's really caused Arkansas just to have to force up or take the closest looking shot to being open because there's not been many of them.
Oh, they're taking a look at the shot clock. It's got 3 seconds on it. Yeah, and that's a tough contested shot by Amber Ramirez.
Well, if you looked at that defense, it was Shakira Austin that got switched off onto Ramirez. What about the length of having to shoot over a Shakira Austin?
This is a lot different defense than what Arkansas saw on Sunday against Alabama.
Now, a lot of times Alabama had miscommunication defensively, and 2 people would be guarding one. That would leave, and the last person you wanted to leave open, Amber Ramirez, so she was getting wide open looks.
Yeah, she took 14 attempts from 3 and hit 8 of them.
They made 19 as a team.
3-second violation on Ole Miss.
But now watch, Ole Miss is able to go back and get their defense set. Will they be as successful continually that when there's a screen and there's a switch, that happens, the accountability.
Ramirez goes over Shakira Austin, and finally Arkansas has a point. It took about 8 minutes.
But when you play Arkansas, you want them, if they score it, to be a 2, not a 3.
I think Arkansas wanted a traveling violation called. But instead it's a foul on Taylor Thomas.
Let's see if Shakira Austin, if it was a travel. I don't think so. 1-2 step. I think that was a good call. I think it was not a travel.
Austin with 8 points, 4 rebounds to lead Ole Miss. So Shakira Austin and Mimi Reed will take a seat. Alanya Kitchens back in the game along with Valerie Nesbitt. Kitchens does have 2 fouls.
I'm just wondering what Mike Neighbors is thinking right now, because he has said to us that he knows how games are going to turn out because he has a feel for his team. And a lot of times that's determined on their making their free throws, where they're 2 of 6 from the free throw line right now.
Dungy with a little help from the bounce.
Maybe the Hogs are warming up.
If they do, they're dangerous. They can get back into the game real quick. Kitchens is fouled. It's on Taylor Thomas.
Well, see, when Dungy's got time, that time Ole Miss, they're late on the closeout. Gives her a little time. Now that basketball, it touched every piece of paint on that rim, but it went in.
Ole Miss came out and led after the first 10 minutes, 17-7. Arkansas shooting just 17% from the field.
Is that on Kitchens?
Yes, and that is her 3rd.
And Kitchens knows that was a big no-no right there. And you're shooting the free throw. You've got to just let that go, especially knowing that you have 2 fouls and how valuable you are going to be needed in the second half, but you've got to sit the rest. You got to sit the rest of this second quarter.
Caitlin McGee is in now, down low for Ole Miss. Slocum drives and dishes to Dungy. Snutta Collins off the screen.
Oh, the defense backed off Collins. Collins can shoot that three.
Danetta Johnson for two. Arkansas 3 of 13 from behind the arc.
Well, that is what gives Ole Miss a chance. If they're not making threes, then it's an even ball game.
Johnson trying to create some space. Valerie Nesbitt crashing the offensive glass. It's going to be Arkansas ball.
Will you watch? This is why Chelsea Dungy has time, because on penetration, when the defense collapses in, that's where Arkansas makes their money, and Chelsea Dungy can knock down the three.
She has a great history here in the SEC tournament. 103 points 2 years ago in this tournament. That is a record for the SEC. In her career, 21.4 points per game at the SEC tournament.
She was a woman on a mission. And I'm just waiting for her to get really heated up today, because we saw in the Arkansas game against Connecticut, when she gets determined, nobody can stop her.
She had 37 points against Connecticut.
And it wasn't just shooting the three, getting to the basket. She was also rebounding the basketball as well. She played the most physical I had seen her play up until that point all season.
Backdoor for Michaela Daniels. You can kind of sense Arkansas getting in a better rhythm.
Yeah, they are really what I call shaking off the stank right now.
Travel by Shakira Austin.
Yeah, the ball movement and moving without the basketball. Terrific backdoor cut there by Michaela Daniels. She set it up. She cut hard out to the wing, sold it to the defense. That gave her the advantage coming back to the basket.
Arkansas has outscored Ole Miss 12-5 here in the second quarter. They started 2 for 20 from the field, but since then 5 for 7.
Yeah, they're heating up, and the offense is starting to click. They're starting to, and Mike Neighbors talks about make the scout wrong. Right now, they read what Ole Miss was trying to do, and now they're finding those openings.
Mimi Reed in traffic. Austin was short. Out comes Erin Barnum.
Oh, Dungy all alone down low. Doesn't matter.
Destiny Slocum. Arkansas in the lead for the first time.
This Arkansas team is a team of experienced veterans. They may not have the experience together.
That's a big bucket from the freshman Jacoria Bracey, a 5-star recruit coming in this freshman class for Ole Miss. Foul on Erin Barnum. How about the run for the Razorbacks?
They got heated up. They got warmed up together. They have found the openings. It's cutting. It's moving without the basketball. It's knocking down shots. It's heated up for the Arkansas Hogs. Woo! They're ready to roll.
Guys, thank you. Arkansas starting to show that fight. Ole Miss led 17-7 after the first quarter, but Arkansas has outscored them here in the second quarter, 17 to 8, and we're seeing them knock down some of those threes.
Well, from the perimeter, and really finding now of moving the basketball instead of trying to create one-on-one, finding the opportunity. If it's not off the dribble, off the pass, make the defense have to shift. And when they have done so, they have been able to create. All they need is just a tick more, a little bit of extra time in order to get their shots the time it needs to knock it down.
Winner of this game moves on to face Tennessee tomorrow in the quarterfinals. This evening, we've already seen Alabama survive Missouri. They will face South Carolina tomorrow. We'll have both of those 2 night session games for you, but we do get to see the #1 overall seed, Texas A&M. They'll kick off the day tomorrow at 11 Eastern in a rematch with the only team who has beaten them this season. That would be LSU.
LSU and that matchup zone, but I'm going to tell you, Texas A&M is a much better zone team after facing LSU twice. And India Jones had hit kind of a slow part of the season. The second time that Texas A&M played LSU, they're playing like they're peaking at the right time. They've got 4 players averaging double figures. They're going to be a tough matchup.
Again, they'll kick off our coverage tomorrow at 11 Eastern here on the SEC Network. Shakira Austin gets both. She's in double figures, the only player in this game in double figures with 12.
Well, and Ole Miss bringing a little 3/4 court pressure to take some time off the clock.
Dungy, the power move, and that easy bucket does go in.
And where did they move Chelsea Dungy from? Not the middle third of the court, but to the wing so that she could attack coming to the middle. I think a lot of what happens with Arkansas's offense is where Chelsea Dungy is. Mike Neighbors moves her around.
Amber Ramirez has been the one struggling for Arkansas, but she still has 7 points, but 1 for 4 from 3. We're used to seeing her crush it.
Still, scoring is not coming as easy for Ole Miss right now. And Andy Landers talked about the mismatch with Shakira Austin. Ole Miss may want to look at putting her back down low and posting her up.
Heck, I'm just curious, after watching this first half, the difference in the first quarter, the second quarter, what do you make of the pace of play so far?
Well, the first quarter was paid to the advantage of Ole Miss, and they really were executing what they had practiced defensively, staying one-on-one and pressuring defensively. Arkansas in the second quarter, they adjusted, and what they were looking at was backdoor cuts. And so that's how you relieve pressure, is cutting to the basket, and that opened up things for Arkansas.
Shakira Austin knocks down the jumper. She's got 14. Dungy pivoting all the way around.
She's just got so many moves, so much in her arsenal.
Projected to be a first-round pick in the WNBA draft this year.
And that's exactly what Andy Landers talked about, the mismatch with Shakira Austin inside.
Somebody left Ramirez all alone in the corner.
Yeah, will Ramirez have amnesia? Forget about those shots that she's missed. We're getting close to halftime. She can regroup at halftime and then be ready to come back in the second half and find her shot.
Madison Scott offensive foul.
Chelsea Dungy, she took the charge right there, but she's heating up offensively. Attacking the basket right there. The finish, driving in. And you got to know, when she comes in, she's going to set you up. She's going to find a way to get to the basket. That's just what she does.
Look, Dungey could have left early last year. She didn't. She came back. She's got unfinished business, especially here in the SEC tournament. Arkansas feels like they can make a run.
She talks about the commitment that she has to Arkansas that has given so much to her and to Coach Neighbors. She wants to have her send-off be leaving a legacy at the University of Arkansas.
Dungey with the ball, 2 seconds on the shot clock. The step back. Shot clock still on for Ole Miss, about a second difference.
But what has been working for Ole Miss? Going to Austin in the paint. Well, and Arkansas jumps into a zone.
Austin just knew where Donetta Johnson was. They get the bucket. Oh, then Mimi Reed stole it. But at the half, it's going to be Ole Miss on top of Arkansas, seeking their first SEC tournament quarterfinal appearance since 1993, Alyssa. Take a look at this score. Ole Miss leading at halftime 33-28 over Arkansas. What a first half it was for Ole Miss. Courtney Lyle, Carolyn Peck with you. How big was Shakira Austin with 16 points in that first half?
Well, let me tell you a story. If you let the big girl touch it inside, good things can happen. You watch when Ole Miss goes inside to Shakira Austin. 1, 2, 3 players on that back row. They're going to pay attention to first team All-SEC, Shakira Austin. So what happens a few plays later? Again, 1, 2, 3. Pay attention to Austin. Well, if you cut and move, she'll find you. And that's exactly what Donetta Johnson did.
Shakira Austin with 16 points, 6 rebounds as Ole Miss leads at the half for the first time since 2017 in an SEC tournament game, Steffi.
Yeah, Arkansas has got to try and go at Shakira Austin. The best defense right now is to get her in foul trouble, get her on the bench. And Arkansas hasn't done a very good job of getting to the free throw line. So I would go right at Shakira Austin, try to shot fake, try to make her block your shot. There's Chelsea Dungey with a good job of getting to the basket at least. But you got to get Austin in foul trouble. She has no fouls.
Yeah, that's a great point. Take it right at her. And there's a strip. Chelsea Dungey able to take it away from Madison Scott. Arkansas struggled to shoot the ball early in this game. They finally found some rhythm, specifically Dungey, who had 14.
Well, keep an eye on Shakira Austin. She is responsible for guarding Taylor Thomas, and she is staying in the paint to take away driving lanes from Arkansas.
Thomas takes it out of bounds. It'll be Ole Miss basketball. Winner of this game is moving on to face Tennessee in the quarterfinals tomorrow. It's been a while for Ole Miss. If they win, it would be their furthest advancement in the tournament since 1993.
On the vision that Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen had in coming into Ole Miss. That's why she brought in the players that she has. It was the top recruiting class in the SEC coming into this season.
Shakira Austin and one coming.
If you let her touch it, great things can happen. At the high post there and leaving a lane. She is so versatile in how she can score the basketball. She may be 6'4", but she can put it on the deck and she can get to the rim.
Well, Austin and Coach Yo had an agreement when she came to Ole Miss that they were going to use that versatility, that diverse skill set. She wasn't going to be a post player that just camped out on the block every possession. They were going to use all her abilities.
Well, that's the thing that Shakira appreciated about Coach Yo, is that she listened to her. as far as what it was that she wanted to do. Now, Coach Joe said it's not automatic that you can come in here and just have free reins and do whatever if you're not working on your game. And Shakira Austin committed to working on her game, and that's why you see the talent that she is today.
Dungey with that crossover, and it works.
You know it's coming. You know it's coming. The crossover, she baits you with it, and then she makes you pay. Right to left, right to left. You're better off of she's going right, give her right. Because if you fall for it trying to jump right, it's just deadly. It's the meanest crossover that I have seen in the women's game.
Wow, look at Shakira Austin go. Already 20 points. Her average is 18 points per game.
What's the best offense for Ole Miss right now? Because she is a matchup nightmare. Go inside. Until they stop it, that's your strong move. Go to your strong move till they take it away, then go to the counter. Don't let it be a free-for-all offense.
Yeah, Arkansas doesn't have a huge post presence. Not anybody dominant like a Shakira Austin is for Ole Miss.
And right now, Aaron Barnum has the responsibility of guarding Shakira Austin.
Mimi Reed tries to save it, gets it back outside to Danetta Johnson.
All right, she knocked that one down with her left hand. Will she stick with it?
She is ambidextrous, will shoot with both hands.
And it looks as normal. Sometimes when players try to shoot with their offhand, it doesn't look as free or as easy.
Five points for Daniels.
Ole Miss playing off a horn set. I love it. I love it. Nice touch off the glass, off the spin move.
Dungey's three goes in and out, and the rebound is by Austin, and she draws the foul from Aaron Barnum.
Shakira Austin is just special. But first you have Michaela Daniels. Austin almost got to the block, but she wasn't there in time.
Danetta Johnson in the paint. Ole Miss is getting aggressive, going inside and drawing fouls. Well, Tuesday SEC Inside gives you an all-access pass to the women's basketball tournament here in Greenville for never-before-seen footage and sounds. It all starts at 10 Eastern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Remember, you can see every game of this SEC tournament on our ESPN family of networks. We'll have the championship for you on Sunday at 2 Eastern over on ESPN2.
Watch the replay of yesterday's game on ESPNU this morning. Like, you can see this tournament and these games again. The first four, and this one looks like it's going to be a nail biter, has come down to single digits in deciding the winner.
First time that's happened since 2005. That means we got a lot of good teams in the SEC. Slocum converts. Jump ball possession arrow. Pointing to Ole Miss.
Keep an eye on number 3, Danetta Johnson and Shakira Austin.
Up to the top in Austin they go. It'll be Arkansas ball. Arkansas is just shooting 36% from the field. They shoot 45% on the season.
I think the worst thing that happened for Arkansas was halftime because they were starting to build some momentum.
Oh, Shakira Austin fouls. That's the first foul on her.
Yeah, I thought she had all ball as well. But you know what? When you break the plane and your hand starts to come down, I think officials at times, they anticipate that call as well. With her length, she just needs to go straight up.
Barnum gets the first. They've had to rely a lot on Aaron Barnum to work down low in this game because Taylor Thomas has 3 fouls.
And with Barnum in the game, I clear out. And again, just continue to go inside to Shakira Austin.
Johnson is stripped of the basketball. The 7th turnover for Ole Miss. Slocum gets it. 3-point game.
Well, and Slocum is that kind of player that can get Arkansas right back in this game. She is such a headsy point guard. And Mike Neighbors talked about how she is very self-aware of what she needs to do and is very confident in making suggestions to Mike Neighbors of how she needs to affect the game.
And it was just last month she came to Mike Neighbors and said, I need to bring the ball up the court because it helps me see.
Well, and running in transition here, and watch how she severs the defense. She changes directions and then continues to go straight to the rim. She creates and carves her own space, able to get the finish.
She had 3 points in the first half total. She's got 4 here in the third quarter. She averages 15 a game. Snutta Collins! And Collins is on the board.
This freshman can shoot the basketball. And you look at her form too. And she's had to reteach herself how to shoot the ball twice because she broke her wrist.
Slocum in and out. Valerie Nesbitt with the pretty floater.
Arkansas right now, they look like a well-oiled machine, just getting a little bit from everybody.
And a foul is called. Well, Ole Miss has an 8-point lead. Let's take you back. Remember when you first played basketball? Think about that moment, your earliest basketball memory. More when we come back.
First memory, that's a good one. I was playing in like one of the little leagues. I was probably like 5. I was dribbling. I finally got like a steal and I dribbled all the way to the wrong side of the basket and made it, of course. And all you see on the video is me all cheering and everybody screaming, telling me no, like go back. Yeah, that was my first memory, my first bucket.
I'm going to tell you, I can live with that moment that Shakira just lived because I did that in elementary school. I did it again in high school, and I will admit, I even tried it in college, but I got fouled. Shooting in the wrong basket.
Somebody fouled you shooting on the wrong basket?
And it was off a free throw. I was so intent. I was like so happy, and I had inside position and got the offensive rebound, and and they fouled me. Thank goodness. Coach Lee had to call send a sub to the table and have me calm down for a minute.
Steffi, do you have an early basketball memory?
Yeah, I mean, I remember being about 3 years old and my older brother being on the court playing in his Little League game, and I ran on the court to try to steal the ball. My mom had to chase me off the court. and put me back on the bleachers. I did not want to sit on the bleachers. I wanted to play.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. You went on to do great things, and that's what Shakira Austin, if that's her memory, you look at what she's producing on the floor, fell forward. Okay, so she made a mistake. She's become a great basketball player.
Yeah, 23 points for Shakira Austin, 8 rebounds in this game, and Ole Miss has had the lead most of the evening. Turnover. What a rebound by Slocum. Arkansas has struggled to shoot the basketball. They were held to just 7 points in the opening quarter, their lowest first quarter total of the season. Their lowest point total of the half, only 28 points in that first half.
Well, what Ole Miss has done is they have not allowed Arkansas to get comfortable. This is the tempo, the speed of how Arkansas likes to play, running in transition. Remember that play right there, because that could be a momentum changer. If with Arkansas can start to run, then they could put themselves in the position to take over this ball game.
Aaron Barnum in the right place at the right time for that bucket. Arkansas down by 4.
Just running in transition. Michaela Daniels loses it, but Aaron Barnum continues to run. And if you run, you will be rewarded. Look, when the ball is going out of bounds by your opponent, let it go out of bounds. At least you have an opportunity to get your defense set.
Jacoria Bracey would pick up her first foul on the other end.
It's going to be a matter of which team can control the tempo of the ball game.
Kitchens back in down low for Ole Miss. Austin on the bench. Slocum, corner.
See, no driving lanes for Arkansas against that Ole Miss defense.
Danetta Johnson the step around. And they'll say Madison Scott was pushed on Jalen Mason. Coach Yo, proof in the build. That's what she has said numerous times. You're seeing evidence of this Ole Miss program make a complete turnaround, not just on the court, but off the court.
And her players appreciate the passion that she plays with. And if you watch her on the sideline, I think she plays every possession, both offensively and defensively, with her team.
There's been times this season you can hear everything she's saying because, you know, no fans, of course.
Sure.
Or limited numbers, so that's been really entertaining.
But that she has players on her team that also play with emotion. And so she just helps them. We watched them when they came in to shoot around today. She had her own earphones in. She was bopping to the music. She was getting herself game ready as well.
Ole Miss playing some of its best basketball right now, coming off a win over Kentucky. Nesbitt is called for that foul. Ole Miss got the season sweep of Kentucky for the first time ever.
And they were down 11 points against Kentucky, and Coach O told us, she said, you know, I never felt like the game was out of reach, and they went on a 17-0 run starting just before halftime and then went on to win the game.
And they've made Arkansas play catch-up all evening.
Now it's a matter of, can Ole Miss hang on? Because I have seen Arkansas be able to turn it up. Amber Ramirez get into a zone. Chelsea Dungy decide to take over. Destiny Slocum make things happen.
Mason corrals it. Chelsea Dungy, the only Arkansas Razorback in double figures with 19.
We saw Arkansas make the adjustment from the first quarter to the second quarter because of the pressure. Now the adjustment Ole Miss has made is that they're laning you. They're taking away driving lanes inside, and they've really been playing off Taylor Thomas. But Kitchens doesn't need to foul her. You helped over, you just got to come over. Solid defense, don't worry about blocking shots.
Yeah, Madison Scott was the one called for the foul. That's her third.
See, there were two people rotating over, and Madison Scott, she's late getting there. If you're late, look, you may have to just give that up.
Arkansas shooting just 45% from the charity stripe tonight. Usually a 74% free throw shooting team. All right, Shakira Austin back in the game. She just has one foul and 23 points.
Well, she's going to have to buck up and go the distance, because it seems like every time she goes out of the game, that's when Arkansas is able to close their gap.
Chelsea Dungey will get a breather for the Razorbacks. They're going to talk about this. One official called a foul, one called a held ball. So it is going to be a foul. It's on Michaela Daniels.
Valerie Nesbitt driving to the basket. Well, she didn't get control of the ball. She put her hand on the ball, but the momentum of the shooter kept going and stripping down. That's where the official called the foul.
Ole Miss has done an excellent job at the free throw line tonight. They are 14 of 17, 82%.
That's important and key. In a tournament, you've got to make the freebies. Look at the hustle of the Ole Miss Rebels.
Nesbitt saves it. Bracy scores it.
Oh, the turnovers.
Davis saves it and smartly gives it back to Slocum. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. There's Daniels driving baseline, and she'll go to the free throw line. Ole Miss wants this, you can tell.
Oh, they want to survive to play another day. How do I know that? Look at this, the hustle, dive on the floor, everything to save the basketball, and then go get the finish. What? Coach Yolette liked it. Look at her. She said, that's what I'm talking about. And we talked about when Shakira Austin went out of the game, that's when Arkansas was able to close the gap. With Chelsea Dungey out of the game, Ole Miss has been able to extend the gap at least to 4 points right now.
Ole Miss has been in control from the beginning. Only gave up 7 points to Arkansas in that first quarter. Slocum in control here. Clock winding down in the third. Three-pointer. Destiny Slocum. We've got a 1-point ball game.
Arkansas has been clawing their way back bit by bit by bit. Well, Destiny Slocum, as the clock's running down, she gets a mismatch, gets a switch. Big girl, Austin on her, it doesn't matter. knocks it down. We got a 1-point game going in the fourth quarter.
I can go anywhere, do anything I wanna do is true.
SEC Women's Basketball Tournament here in Greenville. Another back and forth battle. We've got a 1-point game. Ole Miss and Arkansas both fighting to get that quarterfinal spot against Tennessee tomorrow. Ole Miss came out hot, but the Razorbacks looking pretty good.
Listen, these games in this tournament have been close. They have been decided. Every game so far in this tournament has been decided by less than 10 points. Understand seeding this year, because of the COVID situation, cancellation of games, it was based upon winning percentages. So it's not the normal of everybody has played their normal schedule, because that didn't happen. There's great parity because of that. So in every game in this tournament, every team has an opportunity to pull off a win.
Ole Miss is one of those. They have led for most of this game against Arkansas, who is an NCAA tournament team. Ole Miss is trying to make a run here to make their case to get in the tournament. Right now, they're in Charlie Cream's next 4 out. Turnovers have hurt Arkansas recently. Johnson off the screen from Austin in the paint. Slocum hit a 3 right before the buzzer. Slocum and Dungy, the 2 Razorbacks in double figures.
Keep an eye on Shakira Austin, how she's helping on every penetration inside.
That'll be out of bounds off of Ole Miss, so it will stay with Arkansas as Austin came and helped over.
Well, what Austin is doing is she is helping off Taylor Thomas. So when penetration happens, recognize where Thomas is. Is she a scoring threat? If not, see, there she went straight to the basket as Austin stepped up.
And Shakira Austin deflects it out of bounds again. Austin already with 23 points, 8 rebounds.
Yeah, Madison Scott needs to get out of there and let Austin go to work. Give Austin room to work.
And Mimi Reed overthrows that pass intended for Shakira Austin. Arkansas offensively shooting just 37% from the field, shooting 24% from 3. This is a team that shoots 40% on the season from 3-point range.
Just not getting room. And the length. You look at Madison Scott on Chelsea Dungy.
Jump ball, possession arrow to Ole Miss.
I think there's some conversation, some extracurricular activity going on between Thomas and Shakira Austin. Yeah, all day long. Ole Miss has got to continue to feed the beast. Go inside to Shakira Austin. She has the advantage inside.
That's 3 fouls on Michaela Daniels. Austin's at 23 points. Her career high is 26.
Heck, I know we've talked a lot about Shakira Austin's versatility, but I love how hard she posts up, but more so directing the guards, demanding the basketball. She's been so aggressive, but I love the leadership from that post player position, telling her guards, give her the ball.
Well, and pointing to where to make the next pass to set it up. And that kind of communication and talking about the trust on this team, and the guards listen to her.
Dungey tried to thread the needle, but missed Taylor Thomas.
You know, most of the time there's a post player that you have to double team and guard off of. Well, it is Shakira Austin that's playing off Taylor Thomas, and she's double teaming, helping with the guards. Nobody is guarding Taylor Thomas right now, so Arkansas's got to be patient, and they can find Thomas, and she would have layups.
Shakira Austin with that basket has a new career high of 27 points. Amber Ramirez for three, her second three of the night, the 6th three for Arkansas.
Let me tell you, number 23, Amber Ramirez, she can heat up with a quickness. It's Shakira Austin right there. If she catches it, she can make some good things happen. But this one right here, you put some lighter fluid on it right there, and she will start the fire.
Amber Ramirez really got back on track in that UConn game. Had a little bit of a slump during the season, but came back with a force against UConn. And then we mentioned she had a career high 35 points in the win over Alabama on Sunday, as we keep an eye on Madison Scott, who's over on the Ole Miss bench being attended to. They fired a pass quickly inside to Caitlin McGee.
That's all Mimi Reed. She knew where to go with that basketball before it came in her hands.
Donetta Johnson off to the races, gets stripped from behind by Daniels.
Watch Mimi Reed. This is what you got to talk about, thinking the game. As soon as it came to her, right away, she gets the ball right down low, delivers it in the pocket for the score.
So the Collins offensive foul. Destiny Slocum stepped up and took that charge.
Snetta doesn't understand it. Oh, that's a block. She was not established. Destiny Slocum stepped into that position. She had not established correct defensive guarding position.
Well, Arkansas is going to get the ball. Down by 4. Ole Miss has made it really tough on this hot shooting Arkansas team. Remember, Arkansas averages 84 points per game, just 55 tonight.
The tempo has been controlled by Ole Miss. Oh, Shakira Austin blew that one. She was just too deep underneath the basket. You look at the attention that Chelsea Dungey draws when she drives. There were 3 Ole Miss defenders there.
Well, there's a good reason. She averages 22 points a game.
No question.
She's got 19 tonight. None of these shooters can get any space. Ole Miss is making it really difficult. Dungey looking for some kind of opening and gets stuffed by Shakira Austin. Ole Miss basketball.
Caitlin McGee's defense on Chelsea Dungey. She gets help from Shakira Austin. But the length right there, the defensive connection that Ole Miss has really made it difficult for Dungey to score.
Jacoria Bracey, a pretty shot at the free throw line.
Yeah, with Shakira Austin helping so much on penetration, you got to put Barnum into ball screen action. You should have the easy two.
Under 5 minutes to go. Arkansas in jeopardy of being upset by Shakira Austin at Ole Miss. Ole Miss trying to upset Arkansas in the SEC tournament, 61-55. Shakira Austin with a career-high 27 points and 10 rebounds.
We talked about getting the ball to Shakira Austin inside because there's nobody that can match up with her. You can't guard her one-on-one, and even when two defenders come to her, no success on stopping number 0, Shakira Austin. She told us last night on the phone she packed lots of clothes. She's planning on staying in Greenville, South Carolina for a minute.
Ole Miss has looked like that from the get-go. They controlled this game. They're trying to earn that spot to play Tennessee tomorrow in the quarterfinals. We will start tomorrow with the number 1 team in the tournament. First time we will see Texas A&M, the regular season champions, playing LSU. LSU, the only team to beat the Aggies this season.
Well, and Faustine Afua and Kayla Pointer had a field day, and the defense, that matchup zone was really a nightmare for Texas A&M. Now, a few weeks later, Texas A&M played LSU again, and Texas A&M won that game. But Nikki Fargas wasn't on the trip. She had to stay home because of contact tracing. So after we saw how LSU played today, the contributions they got from their bench as well. Sarah Samazzi, Ryan Payne hitting shots from the perimeter, the versatility, the added offense. Nikki Fargas gone to the bench. Hey, anything can happen tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. That's the first game of the day, Texas A&M and LSU tomorrow at 11 Eastern. But this one still in question. Ole Miss outscored Arkansas 17-7 in the first quarter, and Arkansas has struggled to shoot all night.
Because Arkansas has not had wide open looks. The defense has been very impressive to me of how Ole Miss has played and the adjustments that they have made throughout the game. Tight pressure on the perimeter to then almost a step-off man and then going inside to Shakira Austin. You've got to continue to keep going to what works, and they've stuck with it.
Arkansas will take a timeout. Shakira Austin, 29 points now. It's a 10-point lead for the Rebels. Well, earlier today at the SEC tournament, we got to see Alabama and Missouri battle, and man, Alabama came out shooting lights out. They shot 51% in this game. Araya Copeland led the Crimson Tide, one of 5 players in double figures with 22 points and 10 rebounds. But tomorrow, she has to go up against Aaliyah Boston of South Carolina, who is the 2 seed in this tournament.
Well, and the thing that Araya Copeland has to do is just make her presence felt. She's got to demand and occupy Aaliyah Boston inside, and that could open up things for Jordan Lewis and get Jasmine Walker back on track. And it'll be interesting to see South Carolina. They're coming in motivated. I talked to Dawn Staley. She's used to coming into this tournament being the number 1 seed. New position of being number 2. So they'll probably come in with a little chip on their shoulder.
That'll be our first game in the evening session at 6 Eastern here on the SEC Network. If you're just joining us, this score might surprise some people, but Ole Miss has been in control most of the night. Arkansas has struggled to shoot the ball, hitting just 34% from the field. Ole Miss has scored 8 points in a row.
But you can never count out Arkansas. All right, so you've got a little over 3 minutes, a little less than 4 minutes left in this ball game. Chelsea Dungey, she's a senior. She wants to leave a legacy. So she knows she's got a short amount of time to make up some ground.
She has 19 points. There are 3 Razorbacks in double figures, but what Shakira Austin has been able to do is hard to ignore. 29 points, 10 rebounds for Shakira Austin. Those 29 points are the most scored by an Ole Miss Rebel in the SEC tournament since 2009.
And there's some greats that are listed. You got a Jennifer Gillum, a Peggy Gillum that have done some greats that have played at Ole Miss. That's good company to be in.
Right now, Charlie Cream has Ole Miss as a part of the next 4 out. But he said with a good run in the SEC tournament and a little help, they could move to that first 4 out. But they just got to control this game and finish this last 3:30.
Well, I think right now, too, Arkansas can look to use Aaron Barnum in a ball screen. Shakira Austin is going to help on all penetrators. So send Barnum to the basket. Get two points at a time. You don't have to get it from the 3. And what Ole Miss is going to do, they're going to use every tick of the shot clock. The clock is your friend.
Into the hands of Donetta Johnson.
But she didn't need to rush. She got a new shot clock, got a reset.
Arkansas ball. Scoring drought of 4 minutes and 16 seconds for the Razorbacks. They've missed their last 6. Dungey wide open from behind the arc. Dungey's 3rd 3-pointer that puts her over the 20-point mark, and Arkansas calls timeout.
Well, Dungey, I told you, she's one of these players that when it comes crunch time, it's money time for Chelsea Dungey, and she pops back after the curl in the underneath out of bounds. Shakira Austin doesn't get there in time, and Dungey knocks it down. Now, Mike Neighbors calls timeout so that Ole Miss doesn't come back and come down and be able to score right away. He wants to talk about now, we got to get defensive stops, Arkansas does, and got to understand that Ole Miss has been going to Shakira Austin. That's a no-no. Can't go inside. Somebody else is going to have to make shots. He's also bringing a full court press.
Ole Miss gets through the pressure. And here comes the trap on Nesbitt. Ole Miss will burn one of its timeouts.
Well, that's a good timeout. You want to save a possession. You don't want to turn the ball over and Arkansas head the other direction and score and get their juices running and get the momentum up. So save the possession. You still have 17 seconds on the shot clock. Now you just got to execute your sideline out of bounds.
Ole Miss has shot 43% from the field. They have 34 points in the paint, but the free throw line has also been really important, shooting 84% from that free throw line. They've hit 16 free throws.
Well, in Arkansas, only 9 of 15 from the free throw line. So when they can get there, they're going to have to pay it off. Now, with Ole Miss taking the ball out, Arkansas really needs to buckle up defensively. Again, you have 5 players inbounds. Try to get a 5-second call or get a steal right here.
"17 seconds on the shot clock for Ole Miss. Jacoria Bracey to inbound.
And Ole Miss doesn't have to be in a rush.
Three seconds. Valerie Nesbitt's got to find somebody. She turns it over. Good defense from Arkansas. Dungey steps around. Two looks. Neither go in for Arkansas, and Ole Miss will take its time again. Under 2 minutes to play. Winner plays Tennessee in the quarters. Donetta Johnson working on Dungey. Gets her to foul. Ole Miss came into this tournament playing its best basketball of the season. We saw them take down Kentucky, who is an NCAA tournament team, for the second time on Sunday.
Well, it was just a matter of time of everything coming together. You've got Shakira Austin and Donetta Johnson. Donetta Johnson was here last year, but she had to sit out. Then you have Valerie Nesbitt, who was dismissed from the team in January, but Coach Yolette brought her back. Talk about second chances, and she has come back a new woman and a great addition to this team.
Aaron Barnum traveled.
Shakira Austin, just the backstop for the defense of Ole Miss. Paint points have been tough for Arkansas to come by.
Marquisha Davis took it back, puts it in the hands of Amber Ramirez. Another offensive board. It'll stay with Arkansas. Arkansas has only scored 6 points in the fourth quarter.
The defense of Ole Miss has been tremendous. And again, we talk about Shakira Austin on the offensive side, but on the defensive side as well. Oh, that's off. That's off
Taylor Thomas.
Taylor Thomas's leg.
Yeah. It goes off her knee. Our officiating crew is looking at the monitor. But this should be Ole Miss basketball with 1:20 to go.
I would agree with you, Courtney Lyle. You got that one right.
Thank you. We'll see if they see the same thing we do.
Hey, let me tell you something. It is so nice to be here live to call a game.
What a difference.
Yeah. You had to get used to packing, though, being on the road.
I know.
How many pairs of socks did you pack?
I accidentally only packed one.
Well, you know, Arkansas had to learn how to check into a hotel because they were traveling day of. So you understand that.
I do. Arkansas's got a lot of work to do. They'll have to use the three if they can get it. Taylor Thomas underneath. She will go to the free throw line, but just 1:01 to go.
So now with Arkansas at the free throw line, it's 1.1 minute. So now Ole Miss can't call timeout because it's not under 1 minute. They can't advance it. They've got to bring it full court. So I expect Arkansas to bring full court pressure on a make. Oh, they're not shooting. Oh, they still have a foul to give.
Both teams with a foul to give.
Arkansas's got a foul. They're letting too much time run off. Looks like Arkansas has conceded. So Ole Miss will go on to play Tennessee.
Donetta Johnson adds another bucket onto it. Ole Miss has come out so strong. They have held Arkansas to single digits in 2 quarters tonight. That bucket goes in for Slocum, but still just 8 points in this fourth quarter for Arkansas. Ole Miss takes a 30-second timeout, 22.5 seconds left. Shakira Austin has been big, a career high for her, 29 points, 13 rebounds, and Ole Miss is 22.5 seconds away from a win in the SEC tournament. It would be their first since 2018.
Well, and you look at who Ole Miss will have next, the Lady Vols. The last time in the first meeting this year, in the game between Ole Miss and Tennessee, it was a 1-point game, 67-68. Want to build some drama for this weekend, for this tournament? Wow.
Most points by an Ole Miss player in the SEC tournament since 2009. She is the first Ole Miss Rebel to have a double-double in this tournament since 2009 as well. And Ole Miss can just hang on to that basketball. The Rebels are rocking in Greenville.
You see Shakir Austin go over to Coach Yolette McEwen. They got a win in the SEC tournament.
For the first time since 2018, Ole Miss gets a win in the SEC tournament. They go to their first quarterfinal since 2010 with a 9-point victory over Arkansas.
Impressive. Terrific game plan. They made adjustments throughout. Not only offensively to go to Shakir Austin, but the adjustments they made defensively to hold Arkansas to 60 points. That's an impressive performance by the Ole Miss Rebels.
If there was any doubt that Ole Miss is on the right track, it's gone. Look at what they have done in this SEC tournament. They have beaten back-to-back ranked opponents too, coming off that win over Kentucky. Then they come here to Greenville and take down number 13 Arkansas.